So let's see how to install and perform the first scan using the Quick Scan option. First, let's see how to download and install OWASP ZAP. In a browser, I search for OWASP ZAP, so ignore the Google advertisements on top. But the first link is the link to OWASP ZAP proxy. OWASP's ZAP proxy pages have a lot of helpful information about the tool. So by clicking Download Now, it brings us to the GitHub page of the OWASP ZAP tool. Here you have some packages and installers for different platforms. So you can choose the appropriate one and click it to download. Now, because I want to use ZAP with my Kali, I'll download Linux installer or package. So I'll choose the Linux installer. Now here, as you see, I already have the package downloaded before, so I'll ignore this step. But importantly, the Linux installer link brings you the file with the .sh extension. And when you analyze it with a file command, you'll see that it's an executable shell script. To run it, type / and the file name inside the folder. But hold on. The file does not have the execution rights by default. So to make it executable by everybody, type chmod 755 file name. Now it's executable. And we can type / and file name to install ZAP. But since it's already embedded in Kali, I'm not going to need to install it again. So to use OWASP ZAP, type OWASP-ZAP in anywhere and hit enter. Or open the Applications menu and type OWASP to find the tool and click its icon to start ZAP. As you see, the downloaded version and the embedded version are the same. So that means we have the current version of ZAP in our Kali. So now it asks if you want to save the ZAP session. I'll choose no. No worries, you can save the session whenever you want. So now let's see the Quick Scan option of ZAP. In the Quick Start tab, enter the URL address of the application you want to scan and click the Attack button to start the scan. First, the spider runs to crawl the application. And at the left pane of the ZAP's user interface, you'll see the discovered pages of the application. So now there are yellow or orange flag icons next to some of the pages and folders. That means ZAP has already found some medium and low-level vulnerabilities. So look at the Alerts tab. You'll see all the vulnerabilities found by now. And as we said before, ZAP runs the passive scan all the time you use it, so it's always running in the spidering phase as well. Now look at the DAM Vulnerability Web Applications folder, DVWA. You see, the only page discovered is the login page. The application allows us to see only the login screen if we don't log in to the app. ZAP doesn't have any valid session or credential, so it can only find the login page of the DVWA app. And here you can stop or pause the spidering phase by clicking any of the buttons inside the Spider tab. And to make the demonstration faster, I'll stop the spidering phase now. So as soon as the spidering phase finishes, ZAP starts the active scan phase. In the Active Scan tab, there is a button to show the scan progress details. And, same as spidering, you can stop or pause the active scan phase by clicking the corresponding button. And in the Alerts tab, we'll see the numbers of the findings are increasing. So let's look at the scan progress details. At the left side of the panel, there are the names of the vulnerabilities tested by ZAP. The recs column show the number of requests sent to test that vulnerability. The progress column shows the current status of the progress for that particular vulnerability. And you can stop or cancel any test for a vulnerability by clicking the small button at the right side of the row of that vulnerability. ZAP continues to the next vulnerability test. Here, it finds some vulnerabilities in high severity level. It's a reflected XSS. Don't worry, we'll see the vulnerability in detail. So here's the request sent to test the reflected XSS vulnerability. Now here's an important warning about the automated tools. The findings of the tool might be a false positive. A false positive is where you receive a positive result for a test when you should have received a negative result. So sometimes it's called a false alarm. So you have to verify any finding. So now let's see if the script code executes in this XSS test. It's a GET request, so there is not any particular parameter in the body. We can simulate the attack just by copying and pasting the URL of the test request. Now, see how the script runs. The finding is a true positive. So I think that's enough. I don't think there's any need to wait until the end of the scan.